guys, SP64 here, and this is the start of a new video series for my channel, where I redesign Sonic characters in certain ways, such as how they'd look gender bent, what the future kids could look like, and how certain characters would look if implemented into the modern Sonic games. Today we'll be doing the latter with Sonia and Manic from Sonic Underground. Sonic Underground was a weird show, and I mean weird in the sense that there seems to be a lot of mixed opinions on it. Some people liked it, some people didn't, some people just found it eh. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it in comparison to the other Sonic TV shows, but the main thing I really liked about the show and that stood out to me the most was the introduction of Sonia and Manic. They were both just very interesting characters, and it was kind of cool to see Sonic have siblings and how all three of them interacted with each other. It felt pretty natural, at least to me. These two characters also seem to have made a lasting impression on the community, as there is a lot of fan art of the two, and some fans even saying how they would like to see both characters in the modern Sonic series. Now, do I think Sonia and Manic need to be brought back into the modern Sonic series? Not necessarily, but I do kind of think it would be cool, and I really want to redesign them to see what they would look like in the games, so I'm gonna do it. So let's do this! So first we're gonna start with Sonia. Sonia is a character whose design is very dated and really gives off that 90s aesthetic, so I wanted to try and make her look a bit more modern, but also retaining the iconic purple and red colour scheme that she had. As you can see in the speed paint, I wanted to make her look similar to her old design, but also make her look very similar to Sonic, which isn't that hard to do. I got rid of the big poofy hair that she had and gave her much more simple bangs that are reminiscent of her original hairstyle, but just less 90s looking. For the quills, I kept debating on if I should give her 3 quills, 1 at the top and 2 at the bottom, or just give her 2 quills. I ended up going for her having 2 quills as it made her look more like the original Sonia design, and it also made her seem much more related to Sonic. Now, since we sadly don't have any canon siblings within the Sonic games, it's kinda hard to tell if 2 siblings would look a lot alike or if they would look a little bit different. The only canon family member that we've seen is Vanilla, who is Cream's mother, and those 2 characters look pretty much identical, so I kind of worked on that basis a little bit. For the clothing, I actually did a previous redesign of Sonia a few years back, which I kind of liked still, so I mainly went off that. But I wanted to give her a much more regal appearance since Sonia was the more snooty of the triplets. She was raised in high society and can be a perfectionist when it comes to her appearance. So I took inspiration from her belt in Sonic Underground that seemed to have a pearl in the middle, and added multiple pearls onto her belt, gloves and shoes. I was gonna give her a golden necklace kinda similar to Blaze, but I figured the scarf just somehow looks better. I don't know why, it may just be because the whole necklace would have made her look a bit too fancy, whereas we gotta remember that Sonia was willing to run around and all that. So yeah, the scarf works. Her outfit itself was actually inspired by the unitards that gymnasts wear, as Sonia was also the most acrobatic and flexible of the triplets. So I wanted to showcase this a little bit more, but also keeping her purple skirt and the golden belt because girl got look cute whilst doing them flips. Sonia's shoes were mainly taken from the original redesign I did of her, simple ankle boots but with a little bit of flair to them, and retaining the golden strip that goes across to match Sonic's iconic shoes. Now onto the colours. As I said before, I wanted to retain Sonia's original red and purple colour scheme, and thankfully the previous redesign I did really helped in that regard. As for the fur colour, I decided to leave out the light pink that Sonia originally had, because as nice as it was, I couldn't find a way to implement it into this design without making her look like a fan character. There are a total of 4 hedgehog characters within the Sonic game series, with only one of them having some sort of fur pattern. But with Shadow, this is more so due to his origins, the Black Arms, whose colour schemes consist of red and black. Plus, looking at Sonic's design, he doesn't have any patterns on him, so I felt it wouldn't have made sense to give Sonia fur patterns. So if you're wondering why she's lacking any light pink on her fur, that's why. The eye colour was interesting to try and figure out, as both her and Manic debuted in the classic Sonic era, where the characters didn't necessarily have any eye colours, they were just black eyes. I decided to have Sonia match her older brother and gave her the green eyes, which actually looks really nice on her, to be honest, for some reason. I don't know why. Now with Sonia done, it's on to the youngest of the triplets, Manic. Manic is a very fun character and probably my favourite out of him and Sonia. I like Sonia, don't get me wrong, and her redesign was a lot of fun to draw, but Manic always just stood out the most to me, probably because he was a thief. I always thought that he shared a great dynamic with Sonic for this reason. Sonic constantly scolding Manic for stealing, and then Manic poking fun at Sonic when his thieving skills came in handy, like the absolute troll that he was in Sonic Underground, my god. Design-wise, Manic wasn't hard to figure out, as for the most part his original design matches the criteria for modern Sonic character designs, but at the same time I wanted to adjust just a few things, one of these being his hair. First off, I wanted to give him Sonic's quills to make him look almost identical to Sonic, with the only difference being the bangs, the fur colour, and the eye colour. But onto the most interesting part of his hair, the bangs. I always liked the punk rock aesthetic that this hairstyle radiated and was excited to recreate it into a modern Sonic design, but also found myself torn between how many quills to add. In the end, I figured less is more and gave him only a few quills for bangs, but thankfully they still look pretty good and retain his punk rock theme. Manic's earrings were also fun to recreate, and funny enough I actually added more to this aspect of him, because why not? Clothing wise, again it was pretty simple, give him his jacket, gloves and shoes. With the jacket I decided to add a ripped effect on his back from where his quills would poke out, which again adds to his overall design theme. I also added a bit of a pattern just so it would stand out a bit more. The gloves I took a bit of inspiration from the ending of Sonic Unleashed when Sonic put on Chip's necklace as a bracelet, and it just sort of fit over his glove. So I like to imagine that Manic has Sonic's normal gloves but with these spiked bracelets shoved on too, because he's rebellious like that. Now Manic's shoes were probably the only part of his original design that I made no changes to, because there wasn't really anything to change about them. The boy's got nice shoes, what can I say? Now for the colours. Once again, keeping the green fur, because to be honest, green Sonic characters are valid. I pretty much kept the colours Manic had for the clothing too, with the exception being adding a slightly darker shade of red for his jacket. Regarding Manic's eyes, I've seen a mix of artists give him either blue or brown eyes, and I was leaning more towards blue at first, but then I remembered we literally have no brown-eyed characters except for Cream and Vanilla, and as a brown-eyed person, we need more brown-eyed Sonic characters, so my Manic has brown eyes. And that's it for these two redesigns. I'm very pleased with how they both turned out, and drawing them made me really appreciate the characters even more. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my process and these redesigns too. If you would like to see more videos like this, then please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.